All right, guys, so we're gonna be doing the same thing that you guys saw, but with these subs actually don't sit flush. So what we're gonna do is make a ring with this 1/2 inch MDF wood and seat it there. Probably gonna cut the same side on both and then add the acrylic, spray paint the inside, add the lights, and then probably keep the black because the interior of the truck is black. All right, so we're just gonna adjust the saw so that we don't cut through the whole thing. This is 3/4 inch, so we'll adjust that and then I'll mark it up with the marker. Just did a slice right here, one right there. Make sure it went all the way through so you can see the light. All right, so in order to wedge this off without breaking it, in my case, I went in here, fried it open a little, and then slowly started prying this off. Oh, and then just work your way around. Go slow so you don't crack it. Wrapped up. I'm gonna try to spray on the inside of there. This edge right here doesn't matter too much because I'm gonna wrap over it eventually, so it's all gonna be covered up. But I'm just gonna blow this with the air compressor real quick to make sure there's no dust in here. And I'll show you guys the paint that I used. Do this on the Rush, and I couldn't find the glitter paint, so I bought blue, and then I bought some glitter, and I'll spray this on after. I'll show you guys how I do it. All right, so now that I just put a fresh coat on, I got the glitter. I'm gonna try to just sprinkle it everywhere, and if there's excess, I'm gonna go ahead and blow it off. So this has been resting overnight, and it looks good. I did manage to get some on the edges right there. I just spray painted blue, and then I kind of, I don't want to put no more, but I kind of just threw it at it, and then the only thing I've done after that was add a clear coat. Well, this is what I'm gonna do after I blow off all the excess, just to kind of give it a layer of glue, but not take away from the shine. I'm gonna go ahead and put the LEDs in. So I ordered a strip of 16.5 feet. Actually, I ordered these, which I highly recommend. These are gonna help hold the LED strip, because the previous box I made, I had to hot glue it on because the adhesive this had didn't stick very well to the spray paint. So this is basically gonna go on the edge right here and hold the LED strip. Well, it's gonna go up here, and the LED strip is gonna ride along the edge. Kind of hard to hold these things and mark them at the same time, so I just did this. Just shoved my pencil through there, and then just roughly line it up so that it doesn't pass, and move your pencil side to side and put it there. You want to do this slowly. Maybe if I was going the right way. And once you get there, you stop, put it back, drill it like that. Don't worry about the dust. Once we flip this over, we'll clean that up. And this won't even be showing because it'll be covered by a screw anyway, so you'll be fine. Wherever it turns right here, I try to get them as close as I can. If you have a squared box, then I guess you guys only got to worry about those two corners. But on all the weird edges, I try to get the holes as close as I can so that when the LED light sits, there's not like a huge, so that it's like flush. It's not like a big loop right here. I'm going to probably put a dab of hot glue on each corner just to make sure it'll sit. I poured some of these out. And I'm just going to use a screwdriver, a regular screwdriver, because if you use the power gun, you could use it for quicker and, you know, faster results, but you might strip the hole, and these don't have anything in it, you know, it's just wood. So once it goes in, it's best not to bring it back out. So I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of these in by hand, but I'm not going to screw them in all the way. I want them to still be able to spin around because I still want to put the LED strip around it. So I'll show you guys what I mean when I put a couple in. All right, so this is what I meant by screw it in, but not all the way. See if it focuses. So I'm still able to move these and even peel them back just a tad bit, just enough so that I could stick the LED strip in still. All right, so this is how we're gonna put these. One side, I think I'm actually gonna use the glue on the other side just in case it does stick. And then I'm gonna start by putting them and then tightening one by one. All right, guys, so I ended up drilling a hole through here just big enough for the light to go through. And then I wrapped it around here, all the way around, through here, around, and then I cut it off just at the end. You guys could see right there. And, and yeah, it ended up sticking pretty well, but I think I'm going to add some hot glue to the corners just so it doesn't end up peeling off like this. I don't think it'll come off because it's stuck there, but it might look ugly, so I'm gonna add a dab of hot glue every now and then just so it'll stick to the wall. Alright guys, so the next step is to use this previous cutout for the template. You don't have to, but it makes it easy, so I hope you guys didn't throw it out yet. And first you want to take off all these nails. So you use something like this, hold it down, and then it should come right out. All right, guys, so this is the sheet of acrylic that we're going to be using. It doesn't look clear because it has a film over it, as you guys can see. So you want to keep that on until you're actually finished so you don't scratch it. This from here to here is 19.5. I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece off, and then I'll cut it this way depending on how much I need right now. So this is going to be my first cut. Remember, guys, safety. You don't want none of this stuff in your eyes, especially plastic shards. So get yourself some safety glasses. All right, guys, this is why you guys use safety glasses. Look at this. Makes a lot of dust. You don't want none of that in your eyes. All right, so now we take the width of this, which should be the width, the same width for both, and I went ahead and marked it out. I don't have a very good handsaw skill, so I'm using this, what do you call this, right angle, and I clamped it down. The blade cuts 5 inches, so in case you guys are the same as me, I clamped that down, and this should ride exactly right there with the line, and I should get perfectly straight cut. All right, so we just finished cutting that. Let me show you guys that this is perfectly squared. See that? So I'm gonna go ahead and cut another size the same on that one. All right, so now that we have 2 identical pieces, we're gonna go ahead and get our layouts from earlier. And actually, we're just gonna go ahead and lay these down. I'll flip this over so it makes it easier for you to see. I'm gonna lay these down, match them up, clamp them down, and then follow them with the Dremel. I'm gonna drill a hole through here so I could go ahead and insert my Dremel bit, and then follow all along through here, and then all along these edges, and or acrylic, and it'll actually scratch up the surface. So you want to keep that little film on until the very last step. All right, so now that we went ahead and routed this one, if we take the clamps off, should have perfect piece. All right, so next thing I'm going to do is use a jigsaw and try to make a circle around this. Because I don't know if you guys saw, but the subs don't actually fit in here. They're about 1/4 inch too deep, so I need a little lip around it so that when it sits up a little bit higher. And I'm just gonna use this. So I have here both of my rings. They have this flat spot on one side, both of them right here. This one and that one, and this is actually necessary. I didn't know it until I try to fit them on right now. And I went like this and it went over. I went ahead and grabbed a pencil, and I should have done this before I started, but before I started jigsawing at least, and go ahead and trace the outside, and that's what I'll need to cut off so it looks fairly flush, and I'll do the same to that one. All right, so I grabbed this filer and I went around this to try to get it as smooth as I can. All right, so now we're just gonna be drilling holes into here. To put screws in along with the silicone, but the screws is going to keep it tight. So I'm going to use these 1 inch number 8. And then I went ahead and taped off the bit at about where it's going to stop, just so you don't over drill. And just drill as many as you want. All right, so I finished drilling all these holes, and I made these cutouts from, I want to say this is 1/2 inch. Go ahead and measure and let you guys know. Yeah, it's probably 1/2 inch, and then I did another little one right here, just for where there's like no way to put a screw in. And I was actually gonna wrap this up with carpet and cover this all the way around, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this off and paint this edge, clean it up real quick first, and then paint this edge so that it looks all blue, and do that on both sides in case I don't end up covering this up. All right, there's one coat. I'm gonna go ahead and do one more on both sides, and I think that'll be enough. I went ahead and painted these black. I give them 2 coats. Right now they look a little weird because they're wet, and painted these 2 as well. And when they're dry, they should be black. So the next step is I clean these off so there's no dust. It still has the film over it. I'm going to go ahead, this is dried up a little, so I'm going to go ahead and use this all-purpose silicone. It's a clear one. I'm going to go ahead and place a generous amount all around the edge right here, everywhere, even on that one. And then I'm actually going to sprinkle a little bit of the glitter on there just so that when we squish it down, you could see, or hopefully you'll be able to see a little bit of the glitter effect around it as well. And then once I do that, I'll go ahead and put in the screws, the ones that I showed you guys earlier. And try not to tighten it down too much because this is wood, soft wood, so it will strip if you try to tighten it down really hard. The screws are just in there to hold it tight while the silicone goes ahead and seals it. I'm just gonna go ahead and spread some glitter on here, and so you guys can see it sticks on there. I'm gonna do that to all of it, and then I'm gonna hit it with the air blower to get all the excess off. There's still gonna be a hole in here, so you could go ahead and clean anything that you missed, but I just wanna do it now, so I'm gonna do that, and then I'll show you guys how it looks. All right, I blew off all the excess, and it looks good. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and peel this off, and both sides, and then I'll go ahead and put it over, and I'll show you guys how it looks when I put the screws in. All right, so first error already, as you guys could see, this screw was way too big to go through there, so I'm gonna go ahead. Luckily, this is gonna get covered up by that 1-inch slab, but I'm gonna go ahead and go through all of these holes with a bigger bit, and hopefully it doesn't make a mess so that the silicone doesn't get all dirty. All right, so I only drilled a couple bigger ones for now. I'm gonna let this dry, and then I'll go ahead and hit it again with the bigger. I made all of them bigger just so this wouldn't dry up on me. This one I accidentally took the protective film off already, so you guys could see it's a lot clear. It doesn't look like that, but I did manage to get a scratch here, I'm guessing with the router when I went around here. So then I went ahead and put the wood piece template that we had. I lined this up kind of how it was supposed to go with the flat side over here. And I was going to mark them just with the drilling a little bit through, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and drill straight through. Just make sure you're careful with the acrylic when you get down to it. So we're going to use these. And before you start drilling anything, go ahead and do test pieces and on the acrylic so to make sure it won't crack, and on the same piece of wood to find out the correct bit, because you don't want that crack happening anymore, and you don't want to have a big hole where you stripped it, because this is really easy to strip. Go ahead and do that, make a test, make sure it fits snug. This one, as you guys can see, I took off the protective film, so it's got some smudges on it inside and out. So right now my main goal is just to clean the inside. I got a microfiber towel and some rubbing alcohol. I'm gonna go ahead and damp that and make sure you clean everything on the inside, because once you put the subs on, you're not going to be able to clean the inside no more. All right, guys, so you guys are going to need wire. I'm using 16 gauge. You guys could go a little bigger, and by bigger, I mean down. I wouldn't recommend anything smaller than 18 gauge, but 18 to 14 should be good. And then you need these little plugs. You need only about maybe 6 inches, maybe a little longer, probably about a foot long in here. You're going to splice these onto both ends, plug positive and negative in there. And then on your speaker, there's actually these where you just push it in. You twist your wire, you push it in, and then you shove your wire in there, and when you let it go, it'll crimp down on it. So this is what you want your wires to look like. One side has 2 connectors on the positive and negative, and then the other side has strip wire. And if you guys can't tell which one's positive and negative, if it's too hard to see because of the paint, if you just go right under, you'll see red is on the left, which is positive, and black is on the right, so you follow that. You want a good connection on these, so on these I try to tape them off, but as you guys can see, there's still a little paint. Just grab some sandpaper and make sure you sand that off so this gets a nice clean connection and it's metal to metal. All right, guys, so I think I cleaned the inside of this one pretty well. Looks good. You besides that one small scratch right there. And I think they cleaned the inside of this one, so let's go ahead and reveal this. Hopefully there's no big scratches. This one looks to be good. The glitter actually worked right here on the edges. On spots like these where there's huge blobs that look kind of ugly and you want to take them off, I might leave this one because it doesn't look too bad. But what you do is you grab some needle nose pliers and you go under and you just basically pull it off, and it should have like a rubber band effect and just pull everything off. I'll show you guys right here on these. See that? And just clean off as much as you want. If I could get these. There we go. And these are already in there, but I'm going to show you guys. So when you push it in, there's nothing. But if you go ahead and see if I can do this with one hand. Nope, not going to be able to do it with one hand. Push this in and then shove it in there and then let it go, and you should be good. All right, if you guys need help aligning this, use a little pry tool and get through it. If you guys could see the tip of the nail right there, and then just line it up with the hole right there, and then that way you assure that it goes straight through. All right guys, so this is the finished product. Let me know what you guys think. I just need to put silicone on these, but for now, this is how it's gonna look. In my opinion, I think 10-inch subwoofers would have looked better. These are 12s. The 10-inch would have fit around here, and you would have been able to see the whole box. It seems a little overwhelming, but this is what my customer wanted, so let me know what you guys think. I'ma still put some diamonds on.